Hello, hello, hello. Um, my name is Neka. I'm the head of talent at She Leads Africa. So, guys, before we proceed, I just want to give another 2 to 3 minutes so that everyone is on time and on this live. So, we're just going to give 1 to 2 minutes so everyone can join in on the call, and then we proceed with our live session today. And happy independence, by the way, to all our Nigerian motherland moguls. Happy to be here. Great, 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 great. Yeah, 2 minutes and we will start off. Yeah, 2 more minutes and then I will be kicking off. I just want to make sure that we have as many people on the live as possible. Good morning from Ghana, Aisha. Good morning, goodness. Good morning, Trinette. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining in this morning. Thank you. Good morning, Becky. Thank you for having me today. All right, 1 more minute and then we will be starting off with this exciting live session. Good morning, Marvelous. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, everyone. Great, 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 great. Yeah, so it's officially time. So I'm just going to start off again. Good morning, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Naka. I'm the head of talent at She Leads Africa. First of all, thank you for taking out time to be part of this event and welcome once again to our first ever Human Resource Live event. Today, I'm going to be talking about SLA, our culture, our work values, work style, our application process, and what we look out for in ideal candidates. So I'm hoping that this session will provide you with some more information, background information about SLA, and also help you stand out from the crowd when you're applying for your next role at this organization. Just a quick one. Feel free to send in your questions as I will be responding to questions towards the end of this live session. I hope this is as exciting as I would love for it to be. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys once again for making the time to be on this live session. Okay, so let's hit the ground running. First off, I would like to talk about SLA. Who are we? Who is SLA? I get this question a lot of times. I get people asking, are we an NGO? Are we a blog? The answer is no. SLA is not an NGO or a blog. She Leads Africa is actually a fast-growing media platform focused on delivering inspirational content, and experiences to more than 700,000 millennial women across the globe. SLA has worked with top global brands such as Facebook, Samsung, L'Oreal, Oxfam, Mitsubishi, and we have worked and served these organizations in delivering creative marketing campaigns and exclusive insights for these influential customers or consumers rather. We are building a multi-purpose brand that can be monetized in a number of different ways. So yeah, SLA is not an NGO and neither is it a blog. Now, why was SLA founded? That's a very good question I would want to answer. And first of all, let me start by saying a big shout out to our co-founders, Yasmin and Afer, for coming together to build this amazing community of smart, ambitious women. Based on their research, they realized that when young African women leaked out into the world, very rarely were they presented in ways that encouraged and supported them to achieve their dreams in an honest and welcoming environment. And they saw this lapse and got tired of always seeing young African women as victims or with things balancing on their heads, or never even seeing or hearing their voice when conversations about investments and businesses came up. So they decided to build something that would help African women build their confidence and believe that they could achieve their dreams. So that was how She Leads Africa was conceptualized. The goal for She Leads Africa as a company is to become the number one destination for smart and ambitious young African women. Interesting fact would be what makes us stand out. We've differentiated ourselves from similar women-focused organizations by cultivating an informal and fun brand personality. We use pop slangs, pop culture references, and multimedia files such as memes and GIFs to ensure that our platform is engaging to our target markets. And it will interest you to know how we got to where we are today. We got to where we are today by becoming a valuable resource and the advisor of choice when young African women are looking for professional and entrepreneurial advice. Great. So that's a little bit about SLA in terms of who we are, why we were founded, and where we are today and how we've gotten to where we are. So I'm going to move into talking about the culture at SLA. I hope I'll be able to answer some of the questions or frequently asked questions that have arisen over time. So yeah, SLA is an informal work environment, meaning that we do not wear suits and ties, as the dress code is do you. The focus for us is on getting the work done and not physical presentation. I would say that again, the focus is on getting the work done for us and not how you look or your suits and your ties. So I would say that team members are given a lot of individual responsibility when they join the team, as we pride ourselves in taking complete ownership of our tasks and duties. We operate on a first name basis. However, we ensure that we keep it respectful, we work as a team, and we get our work done. Speaking of the team, we have a multicultural, diverse team of people working behind the scenes to ensure that our community members are provided with the relevant resources needed to be successful professionals and entrepreneurs. Let me talk about some of our departments. We have about 9 departments in the organization, and some of which are the operations department, which I lead. Also, there is the product department, there is the marketing department, there's the sales and partnerships department, there's the content department, there's also the programs department, there's the video department, and we're still growing and growing and growing, more departments to come. Um, at SLA, we encourage team members to make recommendations versus ask questions. This allows us not to only think like business owners, but to approach tasks with a thought process that gives us or allows us to approach situations from end to end and provide recommendations using data acquired from research. So yes, it might some people might say, why would you say don't ask questions but make recommendations? The reason why we will structure that is you're the owner of the business, you're thinking like the owner of the business, you're thinking like the owner of the project. So of course you've asked yourself all the relevant questions that you think you should ask as a user and um as both users at both ends of the spectrum, and then you're going to come with recommendations because you've assumed, you've looked at things from the left and from the right and from both ends, and you're going to be giving us recommendations based on what you have done, the work you have done behind the scenes. So we operate a 360-degree feedback system that allows managers and team members to give each other work feedback. I would say personally that the feedback I have received over time has helped shape my thought process. Also, it has allowed me to learn from my mistakes and build my confidence. So I would just like to state here that if getting constructive work feedback is not your thing, then SLA might not just be the best fit for you. Okay, so that's a little bit about our culture. I hope that people are able to relate and understand the direction at which we are going. So now I'm going to move into a little bit about our work style and our values. So our values are a very big deal for us here. The first thing I would want to touch on is how we're able to work optimally with team members working from remote locations. And yes, I would just want to state that most of our team members are working remotely from different locations across the world, and we're able to work optimally and collaborate on projects regardless of location. How are we able to do this? We use various tech and collaborative work tools such as Slack, G Suite, Zapier, Zoom, Google Calendars, many other tools, many other tech tools that we use. These tools allow us to work efficiently, track our work progress while collaborating on projects. Yes, so now moving on to our values. We have 11 core values that guide the work that we do. And I'll give a little bit of context behind these values. These are values that shape our day to day activities. They are relatable in the sense that any human being who has a life, who is working, who exists as a human being would relate to these values because these are things that shape our daily activities and our daily existence. So I'm going to be listing out the values and I'm going to be touching on each and every one of them so that we're able to fully understand where we are coming from and how we view these values as an organization. So first off, we have excellence. We believe in consistently bringing the highest standards to our work and always pushing ourselves to do better and be better. I'll tell you a funny story. It's not really funny, but yes, it's funny to me. Once upon a time, a very wise young lady said that anything below excellence is mediocre, and she doesn't believe that any company or any business can thrive on mediocre work. And I was like, wow, what's going on here? I was a bit confused until I realized that a lot of companies that have gotten to where they are today, who are doing extremely well, they didn't thrive on basic work or subpar work. It only pushed me to be better and do better at every instance of my work and my duties and my career. I'm going to move to the next value, precision. So at SLA, we are obsessed with the very little details, and I mean little details. There are so many things that I would see in the past and I would overlook, like something as small as centering of texts and images. And those things I would never ever pay attention to. But now I can tell you that little things like that are the things that add up to make perfection and excellence. And yes, we are obsessed with those little details. Commercially minded, we understand that though we have a social mission, we are a business and we need to keep the lights on. When I say lights on, I mean, in as much as we're making social impact and we're impacting the lives of these many women in our community, we need to keep it at the back of our minds that we need to constantly generate revenue to service the platforms that we use in giving these women these valuable resources that they need. So next we have data driven. This is like a value that is really close to my heart. And the reason why it is close to my heart is because we make decisions based on cold, hard data, because we know that luck runs out pretty quickly. We don't just do things just because at SLA. We make sure that whatever we're doing is backed up with relevant data. I'm going to move on to the next value, which is centered around ownership. Ownership for us requires us to take initiative and have full accountability to our work streams. If this means we need to nag our managers for feedback, then we will definitely do that. So it's not the typical organization where your manager is hand holding your hand and letting you know, oh, this is what you need to do, or this is not what you need to do. So from the minute you come in, you're wearing your big girl boots or your big boy boots and you're hitting the ground running like a business owner. Level two thinking. Level two thinking for us just means that we are thoughtful, reflective, and we think deeply about how we work. I push for this a lot because in any business or whatever project you're working on, it's important that you're thinking one step ahead of yourself. You're envisioning the problems that you could envision or you could go through on the way, and you're thinking of possible solutions well ahead and well in advance. Another value that we have is we stay learning, and this is very important because we are committed to continual growth at SLA. You find us investing in taking courses, in having like external trainers come in and teach us one or two things. We're constantly looking for ways to improve our processes. So we are constantly taking courses, we're constantly learning, we're constantly trying to know what is new out there, just so we can stay above trends and be on the new. Yeah, so next we have efficiency and delivery focused. This just means that we make efficient use of our time and we always make sure we're clearly focused on delivering tangible outcomes that make a real difference to the business. So whatever we say we are going to do, we make sure that we do it, and we do it within the set timelines and deadlines that have been set. You don't find us making promises and lapsed and actually just neglecting those promises. We make sure that we're meeting deadlines, because at the end of the day, the goal is to create impacts. And if we're not creating impacts, then we're not really doing much. Next is resilience. So we understand that trying to take over the world is hard work and we're willing to get it done. There might be days when we feel like we're genuinely overwhelmed. However, what we would advise is we find a way to distress. It could be taking some time off, having some ice cream, stretching our legs. But then at the end of the day, we go straight back to work. Next value that stands out would be integrity. We don't lie, we don't steal or cheat, because we know that jail is an ugly, ugly place. And none of us would want to be going to jail at any point in time. So whatever it is that we promise to deliver on, we make sure that we stand by it and we give it our very, very best. Finally, I would talk on creativity. Creativity just means that we're always looking for new ways to improve processes and serve our community members better. We don't like things being stale, so we're constantly looking for newer ways, newer processes that we can, and newer methods that we can make things work efficiently. Like I said, the values that stand out the most for me would be excellence, data driven, and commercially minded. Yes, so I'm going to be talking about some of the work, the background work that we do at She Leads Africa. First of all, I would say that there is a lot of effort that goes into the amazing work that we do and the content you see on our social media platforms. Team members are constantly pushing the boundaries of creativity and coming up with new concepts to serve our community members. On the contrary to on contrary public opinion, there is always I've had a couple of people that I've interviewed, and when I interviewed them and I asked them why they want to join the team, the first answer they would say is because they want to join a fun and exciting team. And don't get me wrong, working with the team is fun, but a lot of people are what's the word, are caught unawares when they realize that there's actual work to be done. So I would say here that there is a lot of brain tasking work versus the belief that we just stay playing all day. I have had a couple of people who have probably joined the team at one point or the other, and it was more like a culture shock for them when they realized that there was and I mean a lot of work actually going on in behind the scenes. So I would say that first and foremost, there is work. There's actual work. There's a team who are constantly slaving and going beyond, over and beyond, to make things look great on the outside. I would like to state that behind all that glam and fun you see, there is actual work to be done. We believe that there is a balance. So, in as much as we work hard, we also take out time to relax and play a little. We do not like things to get stale. So, we are constantly looking for ways to improve and simplify processes. Yes, we stay learning every day and all day. In summary, I would say every day at SLA is a firefighting day. Team members are constantly adapting to change with an intense sense of ownership over their responsibilities. You have to be ready to bring something new to the table on a daily basis to thrive in this environment. I'll repeat that once again. You have to be ready to bring something new to the table on a daily basis to thrive in this environment. So yes, I hope I've been able to touch completely on our work style